Hey, what's going on? I In this video, I would say stuff like, I make this video to bring glory and honor to God, Jesus. But nah, man, I'm not gonna do that. Not with this. Not with this topic. Not with this topic, man. But I will state the truth, the whole thing, to the best of my abilities. To the best of my abilities, man. You know, I uh, I tell people I'm not a good man. I want to tell y'all this. I'm not gonna put on. I just want to come out with it. I didn't, when people used to say stuff like, I don't want to talk about it. I used to always try to, get people, I used to always try to talk about stuff like that people didn't want to talk about because I wanted to help them through it. My homie asked me when I went to Washington, what have you learned, man? One thing I learned, that whole thing, I don't want to talk about it. I know what that jank mean, man. For righteousness' sake, I know what that jank mean now, man. I be understanding. What happened in Washington, it was trifling, man. But one thing is for sure, that whole thing, I don't want to talk about it. I understand it now, man. Like when people be like, yo, I don't want to talk about it. Because when it pertained to Washington, that's where I was at. I don't want to talk about it. I need to. But one thing for certain I learned is when people sometimes say they don't want to talk about it, I get it now, man. Sometimes they're in a place where it's hard. Sometimes it's in a place where it's difficult or it's so painful that it'll make a person respond in a way. What happened in Washington made makes me respond in a way, man, where I just want to show out. I need to talk about it. But if it was one thing that was for certain, is when I was driving back to Virginia from Washington, the second go around, two things. What have I learned? I am not gonna be in places trusting God's people. That's never gonna happen again. I'm gonna pay my wherever I go, I'm gonna pay my rent, be squared. But I'm never gonna be in a place where I trust these people. Like, that's never gonna happen. Never. I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna elaborate greatly about what happened in Washington. But if it was one thing that is for certain, man, if it's one thing that is for certain, I'm gonna talk about it. But when my neighbor would say, I don't want to talk about it, I understand now. I don't want to talk about it. I understand now. I understand now. What happened in Washington was bad, man. I'm gonna tell y'all everything. My mother figure was there with me. She was there, like, through it all, like, through the good, the bad. I didn't understand. I'm 34 years old, going on 35. I didn't understand. I don't want to talk about it until I became 34 years old. I didn't understand that until now. Like, I understand that now, man. When I was driving back to Virginia, I understand that now. Truly, honestly, genuinely, I do. I understand it now. I'm going to have evidence, paperwork to disclose the truth. All of this, man. I'm going to talk about what they've done. I'm going to talk about what I've done. You know, I don't care if the people find it and see this or notice it. I'm going to greatly talk about what I've done and things where it's like, because I talked to my homies about it, I talked to people about it, I talked to the Most High about it. When I'm ready, man, I'm telling you, I'm going to talk about what happened in Washington, man. The aftermath, everything. You know, there was someone that I used to be friends with when I was younger, and he didn't want to talk about the issues between me and him, but I used to bring it up because I needed to talk to him about it because I was trying my hardest to work him through it, and I lost that friendship with him. And that was something that really affected me, and if I could just not bring it up or change the topic, we would have probably be cool now. I don't want to talk about it. I didn't understand what that meant until now, man. Truly, I did not. But I will talk about what happened. I'm not going to exclude anything. To the best of my abilities, I'm going to tell you the truth. But what happened really vexed me, man. What happened really vexed me. It vexed me, it vexed me, it vexed me even to this day, man. I didn't understand. I don't want to talk about it until now. I told my dad, you know, because we don't got a clue. Me and my dad, we ain't that close. But one thing I said to him was, I didn't understand. I don't want to talk about it until now. I get it now. I get it now. You know, people be trying to fight to get stuff out of me, to talk about stuff or what happened. Or if it's something I don't want to talk about, I just tell the person I don't want to talk about it, man. I used to be a person that would talk about stuff no matter how difficult and painful it was, because I wanted to work through it. I understand it now. I don't want to talk about it, but I need to, and I will. I understand now when someone says, I don't want to talk about it. Me, I just maintain an integrity and I maintain a character every day of my life that the person cannot ignore. All right.